Hey there, Imaginext fans, this is Wesatron. Today we're going to be taking a look at Fisher-Price's Imaginext Collectible Figures Series 2. These are individually packed figures similar to the Lego minifigures, and these have just started dropping, at least in my area. I spotted them only in Meyer's store so far, so that may be where you have to go to get them for right now. But as you can see, the packaging is very similar to the Series 1, except for it's green now instead of yellow. On the front, we've got a preview of all the possible figures. There's a total of 2, 4, 6, 8. I have 7 of them. So there's one that I'm still missing, but we'll be able to figure out which number it is by figuring out which one, which figure we're missing. So by saying which number it is, you notice on the back, up here in the upper left corner, there is a small number. In this case, it is 25. These are numbered 25, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 32. So one of them is either 30 or 31. Again, I won't know what it is until we actually open up these to figure out which is which. But this is where you can tell which figure you're actually getting. They want to make it blind bagged for fun and everything, but if you're trying to collect the whole set, then it makes it a little easier if you know the codes. So before the video is over, I will post up all the codes so you guys can figure out which is which. So let's get these guys out of packaging and see what they're like. We're back with all of our new Imaginext collectible figures out of packaging, and they're all really, really cool. Imaginext did a really cool thing here where they didn't just like repaint bodies over and over again. They actually made new sculpts for all these figures, so very, very awesome. One thing to note, I did miscount. There's actually 8 figures in Series 1, and I have, as you can see, 6. So there's 2 missing, which are numbers 30 and 31, which would be the 8-man or Monkey Man, whatever, right here, and then the, I'm guessing, Steampunk guy up here in the back. These would be 30 and 31. For the rest, we've got number 25, Caveman / Hunter / I don't know, that could be Hercules. So that's number 25. Number 26 is the Alpine Climber, the Ice Climber. Number 27, now that I've got him out of package, I can see he is a cowboy. Very cool. 28 is Mr. Frankenstein. 29 is our adventurer with the snake in the hat and the sword. And number 32 is our kind of spacey skydiver type of guy. He's got a camera on in his helmet, so I assume maybe it's like a base jumping or something like that, but very, very cool stuff. Now, all of these pretty much move exactly the same way. It's just that because of their different pieces, they might have a little bit different articulation on each one. But essentially, Imaginext figures, if their parts are removed, at their core they have a swivel head, back and forth, swivel hinge shoulders with great range, swivels in the wrist, and then both of their legs are connected so that they move forward all as one. And you'll see they have peg holes on the bottom. All Imaginext figures have that to help activate different parts on the accessories and play sets and things like that. So let's go ahead and zoom in a little bit and we'll see each one of these figures individually. So here's a close-up of number 25, the Caveman / Hunter / Hercules type of guy. He's got a very cool spear accessory that's like a winding piece of wood, and you can see that there's like a piece of stone on the end that's been hammered down to make a spearhead with some rope around it. Very nicely detailed, very cool, fits in his hand very well. And the lion, or I'm sorry, the saber-toothed tiger maybe on his back, that does pop off with just a slight bit of force. And you can see this is like a really unique mold for Imaginext. He's actually got really broad, high shoulders. His neck is way down in here. He's the only one who doesn't really have a whole lot of natural neck articulation without the piece on. Like, you can't turn his head at all. But as you can see, he's got a very, very fun look on his face. He's got a little bit of a beard stubble, and the fur on his torso and legs and everything is all fully sculpted. Very, very cool. He's even got a little bit of fur on his arms, a little bit of hair on his arms as well. So super cool. Really, really like the look of this guy. They did a great job on him. Now, number 26 is our Ice Climber, or Alpine Climber, whatever you want to call him. One thing I really liked that they did about him was give him kind of this flare over here, like the wind's blowing his parka to the right or something. Very, very cool. I like the way that, well, I guess it's his left, but either way. He's got a very, very nice accessory, which is the pickaxe. Very large, but actually really, really detailed. They did a nice job on it. It was very, very slick looking. Great job on the pants. They did a really cool camo pattern down here, and then he's got spikes so he can dig into the ice and everything. And then like a random pouch here on the back. We've got a little bit of like a bedroll maybe, and then a scarf that goes around, and then the whole thing comes off all as one piece, which is a bit tight. There we go. And you can see it's a bearded man underneath with parted hair. And yeah, it looks very nice. They did a nice job on the sculpt on the hair and everything. Everything looks very slick. Very, very cool. And there's a buckle on his back that attaches to a harness on the front. Again, with the little eye. I didn't point that out on the Caveman, but there's also an eye on him as well on his belt. Now, number 27 is our Cowboy. You can see he comes with a lasso. And you can pretty much hold that anywhere you want. Because it's all the same thickness all the way across. You could put it in his hand like that and actually, like, you know, turn it to where he was lassoing a person. Very, very cool. I like that accessory. It's very nice. And he also has a removable section, which is good because he's actually kind of limited by this a little bit. You can't really get in there and turn his head at all because the hat is attached to the coat. And it kind of sits just a little bit high. As you can see his shoulders in there and everything, and this doesn't rest like you think it would. And it doesn't press down any further, so that's as far as it goes. So it is good that that is actually removable. Underneath, this is very cool. You've got a nice textured vest, and you've got a pistol in a kind of a shoulder holster a little bit. And then he's got some sort of slicked back hair with little wispy things hanging down. And then a mustache and beard. And then I think that's a little mole there, I think. Very cute. They did a good job with the raised eyebrow and everything. Looks kind of like a poker player, and he has detailed cowboy boots. It might be hard to see because of the gloss paint, but hopefully the light is catching enough where you can see some of those details in it. But very, very cool. He's got a big bull's horn, or bull's head belt buckle, too. So I like that a lot, and I like that they didn't have to give him a gun to make him a cowboy, too. That way they managed to keep it, you know, pretty generic as far as cowboys go, and not have to put a gun in the package for kids who are pretty young, or parents who just don't want their kids to have that. So that's pretty cool. So that was number, let's see, 27. So 28 is our Frankenstein. And I actually thought on the packaging that this was just like an effect for the packaging, some photoshopping done, but it is really cool. It's electricity going over the top of his harness here, which is very nicely detailed. Again, we've got really, really good detail work on here. On the back, you can see there's an actual switch, like you would throw the switch on an executioner's thing, or you know, on the old classic Frankenstein movie before he calls it alive, they throw the giant switch. So very nice little touch there. I like that the helmet up here actually sort of resembles a crown, like he's the king of the monsters. Very cool. The Imaginext eye is here on his lapel. And another thing that's neat about him is not only does he have the raised iron boots like the classic Karloff, he's also got stitching all over his clothes and even down onto his wrists. So hopefully you can see that pretty well. He's got stitching that goes around his wrists and everything. And then really nice paint job on his face. He did a nice kind of a deeper green to bring out some of those details and glowing yellow eyes. Very cool. And this whole thing does pop off, which I showed a little bit before, but I'll get a little bit better look at it. On the back you can see he's got a brain. It's not painted, but if you wanted to, of course, you could paint that yourself. But I like that little addition. I think it's really cute. They did a cool job with that. So that's pretty much it for number 28. 29 is our adventurer, or swamp guy, I don't know. Kind of like Crocodile Dundee a little bit. He's got a snake that goes around his shoulders and up around his hat. He's got a little cocky smirk here. He's got a really cool sword, which I wonder if it's a holdover from the pirate sets, because I didn't buy any of those, but very, very cool. Wrapped handle and a little bit of a chip out of the front here. Fits nicely in his hand. This is another one where the hat piece is connected to the shoulder piece, so you can't really turn his head while it's on, but you can pull it off. And he's got just a simple yellow hairdo and yellow beard. As I said, a cocky smirk, and then he's got an arrow necklace and maybe a teeth or claw necklace as well. And the vest is textured. We've got pockets on the pants and thick laced boots. So the back is pretty plain, but pretty cool overall. I dig this guy. Really, I think the big selling point for me on this figure is just that he's got a cool sword. I like that. But I like that he could also fit into a lot of different types of displays. So, I mean, you've got a lot of different Imaginext toys. This guy could really beef up your kid's imagination with what he could get into, because you could make him, you know, a bad guy against your DC heroes, or you could toss him onto space station as a time traveler, or anything you wanted to. So this is pretty cool. I like this one a lot. Now, this is number 32. As I mentioned, 30 and 31 would be the Steampunk and Gorilla. But this is sort of, I guess it's like a free jumper. I hope I didn't say free base earlier too, but base jumping, that's what I'm looking for. He's got like the kind of modern parachute that they use a lot, like in Spec Ops movies, like very tactical looking. It doesn't open into a full parachute, but it lets you like glide across the air. And all of that is sort of attached to the various parts. It clips around his waist and his arms, so once he's got this on, you can't really move him much. You can't even move his head because the helmet is attached to this piece as well. But it is very nicely detailed. It's very cool. It's like slick and simple, but you can see, you know, there's like tubing back here, there's a little camera up here. It just looks really, really nice. Now the whole thing does pop off and slide up off his head. Might get caught on his chin a little bit. And underneath, we've got a little mohawk here, and then a little bit of soul patch underneath. I'm not sure exactly what expression that is, but it's pretty funny. And then on the actual suit itself, we've just got various parts, little pieces of padding and stuff like that. So, you know, nice detailing once again. They did a great job on this figure. And if you want to, you can put this on and clip it around his waist and not put his arms in the pieces, so that you could still have them free to do whatever you want. But more often than not, I would guess you probably just have them like this and then just make them a flying character. So, pretty cool. Let's back out a little bit and we'll talk about our value. So each of these figure sets costs $3 roughly. That's what they cost me at Meijer. And for $3, you actually get a decent amount. You get an individual figure who's got decent enough articulation for your kids to enjoy or to play with on the play sets and stuff like that. Most of them comes with an additional accessory, except for Frankenstein and the Basejumper, which he's got a pretty large accessory complement just in terms of plastic usage. And his is decent, but I mean, there's not a whole lot extra, I guess, you could give to Frankenstein. You could probably think of something if you wanted to, but for the most part, you get a figure, you get a snap-on accessory, and then you get an additional accessory for them to hold in their hands. For $3, that's really not a bad deal. Like I said, if you have Imaginext toys, your kids have Imaginext toys, you know, these will be able to fit right in with all those other figures. Here's the robot from Series 1. I've got tons of these guys. And, you know, he fits right alongside the rest of them. Like I said, these also fit in really well with what your kids already have, or what you may already have if you're a nerd like me and you collect these as an adult. So it's a nice series overall. Like I said, I don't have the Ape or the Steampunk guy yet, but when I get them, I may toss the review of them up as well. But that's pretty much it for this. I mean, if you collected Series 1 or you know the Imaginext line, you know that these are going to be well made. They're going to be very tough. They're going to resist a lot of breakage and everything. I've never had an Imaginext toy break. Even when my nieces and nephews just went ape on them, they did not break. So very tough, very cool little toys. Not very expensive. You know, I'd say pick them up. I think they're pretty cool. So once again, this is number 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, and 32. And I'll push that up on the screen so you guys can see that. So thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And if you have any questions or comments, throw them in the box below and I'll answer them as soon as I can. Thanks, guys. Talk to you later. Bye.